Wednesday night, brought to you by Kingz Broadcasting Studios. Today's date is April 8th, 2020. We're still in the COVID era, social distancing and trying to stay safe out here and make it work, you know what I'm saying, the best way we can. So once again, we right back at you. We got FamousFeez on deck. You know, he is in his location, social distancing, and we got Banks. He'll come in a little later to the show. So we welcome you guys to come in, have a seat, pull a good drink out, you know, get you a good smoke, whether it's that wacky tobacco, as Petty Man say. He in the building too, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Petty Man in the building behind the ones and twos. So if you got that wacky tobacco, if you got you a good cigar and some kind of good libations to go with it, you know what I'm saying? Make it happen. You know, it's that time. You know, I'm so glad to be in the land of the living one more time. You understand what I'm talking about? Because it could have been me today, you know, but it wasn't, and I'm glad to be here with everybody, and you know what I'm saying, out here in Petty Sports World, and we thank you guys for joining so much. Hit us up in the chat room as the show goes on. Let us know you in the building. Start that watch party. Call a friend, neighbor, coworker. Text a friend, neighbor, coworker. And make this thing go viral. You know what I'm saying? It's not contagious. All you have to do is click a button. That's very safe, right? You know what I mean? So it's all to the good, and we're going to do this thing. You know what I mean? We got FamousFeez over here on deck. What it do, baby? How you doing, man? Everything all right with you, bro? Good to see you.
Oh, yeah, man. You know, just still stuck in the house, trying not to go stir crazy. You know, I'd be looking forward to getting on there. I'd be having a lot to say. I mean, they don't be talking about nothing on the shows no more. So now we just got a whole bunch of nice original content for you after we get past the couple of little things that just happened. I'm like, man, I'm ready to go.
Hi, bro. I love it. I love it. I love it, man. Yeah, that's what's good, dog. Anybody around you and your where you stay and live, man, or anybody in your family, are they contagious or have they caught the virus? Anybody you know of?
Oh, man, I had, one of my cousins actually got it. He's recovered, gotten all the way through it, and he's back home now. So, I mean, that's definitely a good look.
Wow. Okay, man. Good job.
Like, I know one of the homies from the Patriots fan club actually is still in the hospital right now. So, man, like, prayers up, and hopefully he stays strong. He's been on and posted. So, I mean, you know, he's at least good enough to still be able to do stuff.
Okay, good, man. That's what's happening.
Yeah, like it's starting to hit to where, like, man, people actually are knowing folks that got it. It's not just on the TV anymore.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Hey, man, our prayers go out to everybody that's out there dealing with this COVID-19. If it's you or your family member, perhaps, whoever it may be. To the good, and we're going to do. We just, you know what I'm saying, want to give our condolences out to everybody and wish you and pray for a speedy recovery. We know this is serious. It's taking people out of here. You know, people may make jokes and fun about it, you know what I'm saying, all day long on social media and so forth like that, but this shit is real. People leaving up out of here every day, all day long, man. You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, the social media jokes are just jokes. So people are just trying to stay lighthearted about stuff.
Yeah, I get it.
People being insensitive to the situation, but it's like, man, you sitting in the house stuck all day. You got to generate some type of laughter or something to just keep your own spirit going.
Yeah, but, you know, there's some people out there, man, that's just, you know, calling it a hoax and saying it's all this, that, and the other, and it ain't real, it's manufactured. Whether it's real or not, if it's manufactured or not, motherfuckers leaving up out of here, man. That's the point I was just trying to send home. That's all, man. And shouts out to the people that maybe dealing with it themselves or know people that are dealing with the COVID firsthand. You know, we wish you the best. We wish you the best. And start that watch party once again. Hit them thumbs up and them emojis out there. You know what I'm saying? Let us know what you think about the show. If you have any suggestions for anything for us to maybe perhaps talk about at some point in the show, put that in the chat room as well and hit us up. You know what I mean? So, hey.
You jump on and ask a question, we'll jump on it. I'll take you out. I mean, unless you ask about a sport that I don't watch, I will absolutely take you out.
Yeah.
Man, so we're going to get this thing kicked off, man. The 2020 NBA Hall of Fame inductees were announced on Saturday. Not really many surprises. That's from the people who were actually eligible to go in. We got a straight list of Hall of Famers, like people that we already knew were going to the Hall of Fame, no doubt. Had Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Tamika Catchings, Barbara Stevens, Eddie Sutton, Kim Mulkey, Rudy Tomjanovich, and Patrick Bowman. 3 of the inductees of which here Robert Horry won championships with. No, we talked about that last week. Three of them from three different teams. That's Lakers, Rockets, and Spurs. But that's piggyback on. I told you I'd rather have Horry's career. He played with all these people.
Exactly. Yeah, you know what? To add to that, Feez, my man Banks, he's railed against Horry the long way last week, but like he was just nothing special. But what I wanted to say to that is, even to him, if he may be watching or listening wherever he is, man, it's not by coincidence all these championship teams wanted this guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's a stone cold killer. Exactly. Like he didn't contribute.
He didn't go to three different championship teams because he was a slouch and didn't contribute. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I wanted to say to add to that, man. Whether he makes it to the Hall of Fame or not.
Coming right out the blocks, asking me ridiculous questions. Say, how many games will the Patriots win? 5. That's all I got for you.
Oh man, they own it already, bro.
Yeah, they just came right out the blocks. Don't ask me nothing else about them. I had a different question. We're not talking about the Patriots right now. Wow. The question for the NBA Hall of Fame inductees, man. Who had the better career between Kobe Bryant or Tim Duncan? I know that's always a big argument and big debate because every time you look at it, most times they always give Kobe credit for the 2000s era from 2000 to 2010 or 2009. And a lot of times people jump right in and they're like, no, it should be Tim Duncan because he was always the leader of the team. So who do you think actually had the better career in its entirety? Kobe had 20 years. Tim Duncan played 19. I mean, it's almost identical. Tim Duncan actually did play more games than Kobe in his 19 seasons, but it's 19 years to 20. Who you got?
Like I told you earlier, we talked about it in the green room. I felt like they're two different careers for me. I felt like Kobe had two different ends of the spectrum. He had a career where he was with Shaq, and he was kind of a sidekick. Much as Kobe was probably a big part of Shaq winning those championships as much as it was Shaq winning. Him winning with Shaq or Shaq needing him. And then when he went through that turmoil when Shaq left or whatever, he had this thing where he wanted to prove that, hey, I can do this. I don't need I don't need to be a sidekick. I can be the leader of this team and I can take it to a championship. So, he demanded a trade. He went through a bunch of drama dealing with that. And then finally, they went and got Gasol in there and brought it out. So his second career came in for me. I felt like this dude had two different careers. I felt like he accomplished big things in two different careers to me. I felt like in all his championships, the first half was different than the second half, and he's the only player I know that had those. I mean, the numbers are just astounding on both ends. And with Duncan, on him, great career. I have no qualms about anything he's done. He's just a consistent guy. It peaked and it stayed there, and it was always consistent. Even when David Robinson left, he still had the same numbers. He still had the same tenacity to the game. He is one of the quietest champions I've ever known since I've been knowing about basketball, and big kudos for him. But to compare him and Kobe, just to me, it's just two different careers. Like I told you, Kobe's on a different stage, than the Spurs. Everybody thought the Spurs was one of the most boringest champions ever, in that era of when they're winning it. So I just felt like to compare them to, I think they both had two different careers. You mentioned Brady with Peyton Manning. It's the same thing. Those guys are GOATs in their own different areas of the decades that they played in. So I just think Kobe to me, bro, he's just on a whole different stair by himself. When you start trying to compare people below him, I just think nobody can compare the description of both of his two different careers. The career he had with Shaq, because Shaq had Penny Hardaway. When he was in Orlando, he didn't win no championships. Nope. He didn't win championships till he got with Kobe. So I always argue with people like, man, Shaq the one, if he wouldn't have won if he didn't have Shaq. No, Shaq wouldn't have won if he didn't have Kobe. That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about that.
Oh, absolutely, man. Like even to piggyback off the two different careers.
Yeah.
It was a number 8 and a number 24. He played 10 years in each jersey. In both uniforms, he had a separate Hall of Fame career.
Yeah, big time.
I mean, he had about 16 to 17,000 points in each jersey, which is nuts. Like each one of those would have been like top 50 in scoring if you separated them. He also had 3 championships in the 8. He had 2 championships in the 24. He had got an Olympic gold medal and an MVP in the 24, won a slam dunk contest in the 8. Man, he got robbed for quite a few MVP awards. Even one of Tim Duncan's MVPs, Kobe's numbers were far better across the board.
Right.
I mean, I think Kobe got robbed out of a couple of MVP awards just because of the stigma that followed him from the Colorado incident. If that hadn't happened, he would have kept the endorsements. Think he'd probably have like 4 or 5 MVP awards to go along with the rest of his accolades, but they stopped giving him stuff after that happened.
Right.
But just to line the two of them up, man, they both got 5 NBA championships. Tim Duncan has 2 MVPs, the Kobe's 1. He has 3 finals MVPs, the Kobe's 2, which Kobe could have gotten at least one of those final MVPs. I mean, definitely he could have gotten the Pacers MVP. And I mean, then he had the defensive assignment against Iverson in the Philly series. But what folks fail to realize when you start looking at all those NBA championships that Kobe won with Shaq, his finals numbers were not really indicative. Like, they didn't show the whole picture from what actually happened all the way through the playoffs.
Correct.
The teams in the Western Conference, they all had big men. I mean, the 2001 that year was ridiculous. They beat 3 teams that all won 50-plus games in the season. Right. And Kobe was the man in all 3 of those series. When they got to the finals, it was about Shaq because they didn't have anybody to guard him. In the Western Conference, it was like, all right, Kobe, you got to win these. And then when we get to the Eastern Conference, then it's Shaq time. So it was like, it was a 1-2 punch that just couldn't be stopped. Whatever they needed, Phil dialed up the right recipe, which was Kobe for the first 3 rounds of the playoffs and Shaq to take us home. Correct. Like, that's how that thing was going. I mean, like, Kobe's got 2 scoring titles. Tim Duncan has none of those. Kobe was All-NBA first team 11 times, and Duncan was 10. They were all defense first team. Kobe had 9. You know, he's tied for the most ever. Tim Duncan has 8, so he's right there with him. Correct. Then, I mean, just them points. I mean, Kobe has 33,600 points to Tim Duncan's 26,000. So, I mean, he scored 7,000 more points than Tim Duncan did, and he actually played in about 50 less games than Tim Duncan did. So what do you think about this? 18 All-Star teams. The Duncan's 15. He got a dunk contest, 2 gold medals, and might I add, Tim Duncan was on it 2014 with Iverson that got the bronze. He went to the Olympics. He just didn't win it. Right.
So what do you think about this? This is the question I got for you, Feez.
Okay.
In either spectrums of Kobe's career, do you think along with those first 3 championships, just the numbers in those first 3 championships, do you think he could have went to the Hall of Fame off those numbers, just based off of those numbers? And then could he have went off the same numbers in his second supposedly career?
If you split his career in half, you could put Afro Kobe number 8 in the Hall of Fame, and then you could put number 24 Kobe in also. That's why he got both numbers retired.
Damn. So that answers your question. That's what I'm saying. What kind of career this had? This dude had 2 different careers, and both of them could be first ballots.
Yeah. I mean, who else got 2 numbers retired? Like, let me answer that for you. Nobody.
Ace, man. I would take Kobe's career over
Tim Duncan's.
Tim Duncan's. You know,
and it's no slight to Tim Duncan.
No, it's not.
It's just 2 different careers.
I mean, they're night and day in that regard because of the way they played the game. You know, Tim Duncan was Mr. Fundamental. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a consensus. If you ever talk about Tim Duncan and his style of play, wasn't real sexy and had a whole lot of hoopla about his play, but he was fundamental and he got the job done very consistently, night in and night out, as a leader on that team.
To play fundamental, and they couldn't stop him.
That's right. They
couldn't stop him, dude.
And Kobe, his game was totally different on a whole nother level because he had the flair. He had the sexy game. He had what you wanted to see. You tuned in to see Kobe. You didn't necessarily tune in to see Tim Duncan. Right. You know what I mean? Unless you're just a Tim Duncan fan and you like that team and you like the way that style of basketball. Right. But when you know Kobe was coming on, you made it your business to kind of make sure you were sitting somewhere where you could pay attention to the game. Yeah. So in that regard,
he had that flair. He had that flair.
And he carried the torch well for the NBA. you know, he was the face of the NBA for a long time. I don't think Tim Duncan could ever say he had the face of the NBA. So that's
franchise player, but couldn't carry the face of the NBA.
I don't think that's what he wanted to do because that's not who
that's not
he
the
is.
seat he wanted to drive. Right. He was never a commercial guy.
He's a blue collar guy. All he wanted to do is come in and do his job and go home. He didn't look for nothing. If you notice, he didn't have any endorsements.
No endorsement. And that's crazy, Feez. Yeah. I don't understand. Feez, what do you think about this? Why didn't he become a coach? I felt like I thought he was going to end up on the sideline.
He's on the sideline sometimes, but I don't think I don't know if
he on the sideline, assistant coaching or something like that.
It appears like it at times.
He got his first actual head coaching start like before the season got canceled.
Okay, I know I used to see him on the sideline.
Oh, okay, all right,
cool.
But I mean, look at this here. You can go on YouTube right now. You pull up a video that says Kobe's top 5 dunks on Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
And that man dunked on you 5 times.
But you know what?
But even to piggyback off of that, man, like even they met 6 times in the playoffs. Kobe is 4-2 against Tim Duncan in the postseason when it counts.
Well, you know,
it's just 2 different positions.
Yeah, 2 different. I mean, Kobe and Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan played the position defensively to where you would probably get dunked on from Kobe. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Kobe would dunk on
Kobe dunked on anybody. Probably Tim Duncan might have got the low end of the totem pole with the number.
A lot of people, he's not a lot of centers of power forward that they've been dunked on by Kobe.
I mean, like, I don't know if 5 times is a lot by Kobe. As long as he was in the league.
As long as he was in the league, yeah.
Especially playing in the West.
Exactly.
You know, so I mean.
You see him 4 times a year.
Right, exactly. So, you know, all those years and I only scratched out 5, that ain't too bad. You know what I'm saying?
Posterized. You know you'll get posterized. Like I said, they probably wouldn't even really showing all of them.
Yeah, that just come with the territory, right? Yeah. So,
I mean, that says top 5. He might have dunked on them more than that. They just like, these are the good ones. You know, he was giving Timmy the business.
Good point.
But definitely kudos to both of them guys, man. Like I said, 2 different. I can't debate. That's not a debate for me. It's just 2 different careers, 2 different positions, 2 different players all together. You know, you barely being able to get the debate out of me about LeBron and Kobe. That's just you can't compare the 2 careers to me. So, I just think Kobe, like Barkley said the other day, Kobe is the closest thing to Michael Jordan to be comparing 2 of the greatest of the game. You can't put LeBron. He said you can't put LeBron up there with Jordan. Why y'all
who said that?
Charles Barkley. He say I ain't get to play with LeBron. I ain't no Kareem. Somebody say he didn't get to play with, but he say I played with Jordan and I played with Kobe. He say those 2 cats played the closest to the similar game as he's ever been in his whole career. He say nobody ever challenged him like those 2 players.
Well, you know, what's crazy to me is like, man, everybody, like pretty much the consensus, like 90% of people you ask will say Michael Jordan is the GOAT. And they'll also tell you that Kobe is the closest thing you saw to him and then proceed to try to tell you how many other people are better than Kobe. And that doesn't even make sense.
It just don't make no sense. You can't put them in, you can't say that in the same sentence.
Say both?
and what you get from a lot of people in that debate, it's a generational thing. If you are a young person, a millennial, Generation Z type, all you remember is Kobe and LeBron.
Yeah, that's all you remember.
You don't even remember Mike playing.
Michael Jordan, yeah.
You know what I mean? Or even people that played before him, the greats. You know, your Magic Johnson,
with the Wizards,
your Charles Barkley's and stuff like that. So a lot of times we had a benefit of being able to go back a little further than the younger generation to really do a full analysis of the styles of plays, the era, and so forth. And I think a lot of times that get lost in the sauce too. You know what I mean? So it may not just be where people hating on any particular player. They just don't know because it wasn't in their era. It didn't happen in their time.
Yeah. That's true.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I felt the same way about the ESPN poll that they came out with for the greatest college basketball players of all time.
Yeah, I saw that, bro.
And you see somehow Kareem didn't make it.
Right.
Kareem, he got a better career than Jordan did.
Because people don't.
I had to think about it, though.
People don't see him.
That's crazy, though.
I didn't even see Jordan play in college. So I'm like, man, when he got drafted into the league, I was 2. I mean, you think about this from a perspective of who was actually online and voting for these polls.
The young kids.
If I didn't even see Mike play, most of the people voting they don't even know who Kareem is. Don't know anything about what he did at UCLA.
Exactly.
Have no clue the man won a championship every year he played.
Exactly.
Every year he played, he won a championship.
Exactly. Because that's way before our time. You know, it was like we didn't get a chance to see it. We know he was a good a great NBA player, you know, a Hall of Famer and a Laker and so forth. And well, at least that's where he ended. So, I mean, we know him from that perspective. But in college, I didn't even know he did all of that. I know he had a couple of championships. I didn't know he won one every year.
He won one every year.
He was there 4 years. His freshman year, freshmen couldn't play on the varsity, so they went undefeated and won everything they could win his freshman season. And then for the next 3 years, he won 3 championships, 3 National Player of the Years, 3 most outstanding players in the tournament. He won everything.
Right. Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah. Game changer.
I don't think Jordan didn't win, but what, one championship? He won 2.
Yeah, just that one. That one with that one shot that you see.
Yeah,
and that was at 82.
And that's
he
what
played 2 more years. They didn't win.
Yeah.
And you know, they tried to say Jordan probably could have been a lot greater than he was playing under Dean Smith, but Dean Smith had those arcane rules to where he didn't allow his players to take more than 15 shots a game, so he was capped. You know,
he had other Hall of Fame players on his team too.
That also,
he had
but
a squad,
but
man.
He did. But what I'm saying is, like, a coach can stifle greatness in college that way, saying, "Hey, you're only going to take 15 shots a game." I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I guess it worked for him for so long. Dean Smith is one of the great coaches of all time, college coaches of all time. So his recipe did ultimately work in the big scheme of things. But yeah, Jordan could have possibly been even greater than he was.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very possible. So, man, we're going to switch gears, cranking on back to this NFL.
Before you go to that, bro,
okay.
What do you think about the KG nomination? I know we was on Kobe. And are you okay with the KG nomination?
Oh, yeah. He's absolutely first ballot.
Okay.
KG is one of my
4
favorite players.
That's tied for most first-team NBA defense selections.
Yeah.
He's also got 9.
Yeah.
He had a stellar career in the Timberwolves. He had a stellar career.
Yes, he did.
They just wouldn't build a damn team around him.
They wouldn't give him enough that he needed at one time. He had some decent teams, but they just never had that piece that
him
would
and
really
Stephon
put him on top.
Marbury, they were killing.
They
needed another shooter.
Exactly. Yeah, so I like, KG was one of my favorite players. The whole time he was in the NBA, he was probably one of my top 5 players.
Yeah.
I always rolled with him.
He got he got that tenacity was turned up.
Yeah.
He got to Boston. It was like, this is it.
Yeah, I mean, he played with attitude and that hunger every game, man. And I won't say I hate Boston, but I'm not a Boston fan. And when he went to Boston, I rode with them a little bit because of KG.
Yeah, I like
you know
KG,
what I'm saying?
Man. I like KG, man.
Because I like KG.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
like
So,
KG.
Oh, y'all know what time it is, though. It's 8:24.
I see you over there looking at it.
Get ready, big dog. I see you getting ready. What we got?
2, 3.
Kobe
in the building. Petty Sports paying tribute to one of the greats. You know, as we're talking about him, like always, we stay consistent with this thing. And we on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, Twitter right now. So go over there and check out the shows, or you can go to www.kingsbroadcasting.com and hit the radio link, post 880, and listen to us on the internet radio station as well. We thank you guys for tuning in tonight during this COVID-19 pandemic. And we just hoping we can offer you guys a different look tonight and maybe, give a different perspective on what you've been seeing. Not a whole lot of sports content out there these days. So we just making it do what it do for you, and you. All y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we appreciate if you start that watch party, get in this chat room, hit that Petty Sports line, 678-871.
9602.
Yeah, we on time with it. So, get at us. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's have some fun with this thing. ATL, ho.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes, sir. Man, just one more on that KG point. I wouldn't argue with you if you actually tried to tell me that KG was the best power forward all time. And I only say that because I'm not buying that Tim Duncan was a power forward. That dude is a center.
True.
He's 7'1". He came into a team that already had a center, so he came in at power forward. So he officially got listed as a power forward, but he ain't no power forward. Played center his whole career.
Oh, he played out of
always
position most of his career, right?
Like, but his whole career he played center. I mean, after Robinson left, he was the center, but he was still listed as a power forward. Who was the other center when David Robinson left?
Damn,
Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan was the tower. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. But they say he the best power forward that played. That's how they doing it.
Because they list him as a power forward. He's the best power forward of all times. When you start listing like top 10 all time, you don't get to any power forwards before you list Tim Duncan.
Ah. Wow. That's interesting. That's interesting.
He's absolutely not the best center all time, but he's not listed as a center.
Wow.
It always annoys the hell out of me when he's like, yeah, best power forward. I was like, that dude is not a power forward.
What Feez talking about, man?
Huh?
What Feez say?
He say he's not a power forward. So my name Duncan.
Oh,
Tim Duncan,
okay.
Because they got him listed as a power forward, but you know he really plays center.
Right, exactly.
That's why they were so damn powerful. That's why they were so powerful, man.
Yeah. Charles Barkley, he was a
Fees on froze up.
did he?
I think so.
Uh-oh.
We'll let him get back. Let him get situated. Charles Barkley, what'd you say, man?
I was thinking about Charles Barkley. No, I know he played center, but he was really, as far as his size, really like a power
He's like
forward.
a power forward almost, yeah.
I mean, he could go both ways, you know. But
I think it was all about lineup. Whenever whoever they played, he would get down low. But most of the time, he would damn run like he ran the floor like a power forward.
yeah, he did, and he had that body to put on you. He was physical. I mean, so he had the attitude to be a 5. If you watching Fees, go ahead and hit that link again, man, so we can get you back in
He
here.
probably go and reset his.
Yeah.
Like my damn laptop might have went dead knowing him.
Yeah, you know, Fees he will have that laptop go out on you in a heartbeat, man.
I plug it up and get slow. There you go.
There we go.
Hey, yeah. Can we get you to turn your phone, sir?
It is. It just the orientation here. Let's
Okay,
go.
there you
Can I
go.
get that back? There we go.
There
Much
you
better,
go.
much better.
There we
I
go.
do.
We back.
Right back at your ass. See, studio life is real over here. You know, we cooking for real. Shit happens. You know what I
I
mean?
was talking. I'm like, hold up. They can't hear me no more. Let me just stop.
And the show must go on.
Yeah, man. So back to the 2010s NFL All-Decade Team. Do y'all think anybody got snubbed? And before you answer the question, I'll just let everybody know who we're talking about. Just from the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end positions. I mean, those are the sexy ones. Nobody gonna be like, hey, this offensive lineman got snubbed. Nobody cares. So, the quarterbacks were Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. The running backs, we have Frank Gore, Marshawn Lynch, LaShawn McCoy, and Adrian Peterson. Wideouts, we had AB, got Larry Fitzgerald,
Larry Fitzgerald.
Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones. Tight ends, we got Gronk and Travis Kelce. Then for the coaches, you got Bill Belichick and Pete Carroll. So I got people to present to you for all of them.
Okay.
I know a lot of people are saying that Drew Brees got snubbed.
I heard that. I heard that, Fees. I heard that.
Well, you
But
know,
let's
I
just
have
keep
no
it in
sympathy for
perspective.
those guys. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Say what, Fees?
The all-decade team is from 2010 to 2019. Well, no, technically, the Saints won that Super Bowl in 2010. That does not count for that year. That is a 2009 Super Bowl. So moving forward 1 year, from 2010 to 2019, Brees won nothing. And to put that even more perspective, he missed the playoffs 4 times in that 10-year span.
Right,
He had
right.
4 7-9 seasons. He was 95 and 58 under that span. No Super Bowl appearances, no MVPs, and threw double-digit interceptions in 7 out of the 10 seasons. Now, you put that in retrospect to Aaron Rodgers, who got the nod. He got 2 league MVPs, won a Super Bowl, got a Super Bowl MVP. He did miss the playoff 3 times, but Drew missed 4. It's really a no-brainer. Like,
Right.
I got Drew Brees higher than Aaron Rodgers on the all-time list, but from that decade comparison, Aaron Rodgers absolutely got it.
Yeah. And I think people get caught up in the smoke screens with Drew Brees about his personality and just how he carried himself in New Orleans and how he's kind of the he's the tip of the spear out there, and they forget about those 79 damn things and how he really had subpar years. Good quarterback. I don't take nothing from him, and he's probably one of the all-time greats. But he's when you start looking at numbers in that time period, you got to look at the numbers that Aaron Rodgers was putting up numbers, but he had a horrible defense. Even when the Falcons beat them that year in the Super Bowl, the defense just kept giving up points just as quick as he was scoring. Yeah. So it's one of the things he would just, and that's what I think. Well, that one of his big gripe with that coaching staff was just they could never get the defense to keep up when they was out there because he had wide receivers and tight ends and stuff out there.
Oh yeah, I mean all those years that Drew Brees was putting up 5,000 plus passing yards, they were 7-9. They wasn't winning. That's why he was throwing the ball so much. He had like 200 more passing attempts than everybody in each of those seasons. Yeah. And threw for over 5,000 yards because they were losing every game. Yeah,
it was so mirror to number 2 with me. All the numbers had the stats going through the damn roof, but you missing the playoffs.
Empty stats.
Empty stats.
Empty stats.
I don't
Regular
care how,
season don't mean
if you talk
shit.
about him going to the Hall of Fame, yeah, he going first ballot, whatever. But we talking about as a team, as winning a damn game. The dude is everything he's doing is individual team, like he by himself. Yeah. He always had receivers. This is the one quarterback ain't never had subpar receivers. Can anybody name a time number 2 ain't had top 5, 6 receivers?
No.
No. He had top 5 tight ends.
Tight end, dude. He ain't Hall of Fame tight end, dude. Come on, man.
Yeah, you let Drew Brees had that same talent around that same time span, he would have made this list without a doubt.
Oh, he did have Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham. He had Shockley. Shockey, what is his name? Shockey, the tight end. He was fucking bad.
Jeremy Shockey.
Well, I'm just saying the same core.
Just a core like this.
Yeah,
like
always. Yeah, 3-4 guys at least high caliber receivers out there. Yeah. You know what I mean? He would.
I'll tell you somebody else who has more of a gripe than Drew Brees.
Who?
Russell Wilson.
Oh.
His entire career falls in that span. He's got 8 seasons, made the playoff all 8 years, went to 2 Super Bowls, won 1, and his win percentage is way higher.
Yeah, you got a point with that stat man. Once again, stat man pulling it out.
God damn.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, Feez.
So why do you think they did? What edged Rodgers over damn Wilson?
Because they have the same amount of Super Bowl wins. Russell went to 2 and won 1, but Aaron Rodgers has 2 league MVPs on top of it. You got 2 league MVPs in the span. It's like, all right, that's definitely a separator.
Right. Okay.
So, I mean, if you look at the other side of it, in that same span, I mean, Brady's 122 and 34, which is absurd. Nobody else has 100 wins in that span. He's also got 2 MVPs, 5 trips to the bowl, 3 rings, and 3 Super Bowl MVPs. So, like, that's the bar that's set for that era. It's not even fair.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with.
He's the only player who's ever actually been selected for 2 all-decade teams because he was on the 2000s all-decade team too.
Yeah, but my thing is to say this, Feez, with Brady, has he ever had a consistently top 5 wide receivers those years? All those years, putting those kind of numbers.
No.
Was it the system or was it the players?
It was both. The system worked because of Tom.
Right.
The system has always existed, but without Tom in it, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, we're going to find out moving forward this with the
Patriots. This going to be a hell of a year
when they restructure and see what they come up with or what the Silver Lord come up with.
They got some decent pieces over
there. Oh yeah, well I know Tampa Bay. They're going to make some noise this year. You know what I mean? But I'm just talking about over there with in New England with Belichick.
Oh, with Belichick. They both got something to prove. This is going to be that chip on both shoulders.
I don't know if Belichick feels that way. You know what I mean?
Who got more to prove, Feez? Belichick or Brady?
I think Belichick has more to prove, but I think Brady feels more strongly about it because he has much less time to do it.
You think Belichick has already kind of hit the reset button to give him that kind of pass for this first year?
I believe so. Looking at the way they're trying to restructure
he brought the team 6 Super Bowls and took them to 9. And like Belichick can coach as long as he wants to. Even if they have 3-4 straight losing seasons, he'll never be on the hot seat.
No.
He's got time.
Yeah. I think I don't know what he'll ultimately wind up doing restructuring this team. in the off season to prepare them to compete for this upcoming season.
Yeah.
But I'll be interested to see, man. I think
yeah.
Belichick has always been cool under pressure. He may not even be looking to compete this year that way. He's just probably trying to, like you said, restructure the team.
He's sitting back watching Brady, man. Just sit back and watch and see what he does.
Next season, when he can really, because Brady leaving probably was kind of unexpected. He probably didn't think that Brady was going to just leave. You know what I mean?
No,
I think he did, bro. He was showing him the back door, bro. Belichick was showing him the back door, bro. He was done with that. He was ready to move on and go to the next level.
But he didn't.
When Garoppolo was there, bro, he wanted Brady gone,
but
bro.
for him to want Brady to be out like that without having other pieces in place, that's why I may slightly disagree with you on that. Now, if I had another quarterback to plug and play, yeah, maybe so. But him coming up dry, don't have nothing to plug and play with, he having to start from scratch, I don't think he was looking to handle it that way.
I feel like Kraft left it in Belichick's hands to say, I go whatever you go with. And I think Belichick was ready to kind of hit the reset button and kind of bring in some fresh blood and stuff like that. I think he got something to prove himself because I think he's going to retire maybe 4 or 5 years, maybe a little bit less. But I think that he felt like Brady, he saw the decline in Brady. And, and I think he wanted to maybe bring some of the, and the teams are starting to catch up. That division is getting tough. Mm-hmm. And he got to come. Am I right, Feez? Tell me.
Yeah, well, I say he had to know something just for the mere fact that in that Howard Stern interview that Brady did this morning, he said that he knew before last season started that was going to be his last year.
Yeah.
He already knew he was leaving, so clearly there had to have been things that the people closest to him could recognize to be like, yo, he about to dip. Like they knew he was leaving. He knew he was leaving. He sold his house before the season started because he knew he was leaving.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on, man. Let's try to give a shout out to some people that's watching the show tonight, man. Hey, y'all. Cedar Michelle is in the building. J-Bo, what it do, baby? Got Ricky. I see Ronnie. I see our country kinfolk, Rio out there on deck. You know what I mean? Who you got in your watch party over there, man?
We need to zoom him in, too.
You got anybody over there in your party, your watch party
feed? You got?
Want to shout out?
Oh yeah, man. I got Angela, the Cowboys fan in. My sister Ramonica's online. Jansen is tuned in. Avery, Jimmy. Got my cousin John Morris. Willie Brantley's online. Got a whole bunch of people jumping, like just tuning in and out. Seeing Bree jumped in. Sonia, Gene. Hey, there's a lot of folks jumping on these watch parties.
That's what's good, man. Hey, this for you guys out there, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in and sharing the show with everybody and helping this thing go viral. You know what I mean? We love you guys. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Before I jump back into the all-decade team, just a small note, just as far as like how that system actually works. I posted a video on my Instagram. So, jump on the FamousFeez IG. It's about a 2.5-minute IGTV excerpt from a David Patton interview. Like for those of y'all don't know, David Patton was a wide receiver for the Patriots in the early run. Like he got there, I think in 2000 or 2001. He was there for the first run of Super Bowls. I did an interview with him and asked him what was the feel around that locker room when Drew Bledsoe got hurt and Tom Brady took over. Like what did y'all feel like? What you think? David Patton was like, hey, like he came in and was third string quarterback. I was third string wide receiver.
Right.
And he was like, man, our job was to be the scout team for the number one defense in the NFL. He's like, we used to give them fits. Say, if you came to the practice and didn't know that Drew Bledsoe was a $100 million man, you would have thought that Tom Brady was the $100 million man all the way back then because the defense couldn't stop him. That's why the defense was so good. Is they had the greatest quarterback of all time out there running scout team, and they couldn't stop him. So they get out there against everybody else, and they just eat them alive. They're like, man, nobody else's quarterback is as good as our scout team guy, including ours.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah,
a scout team?
They been knew Brady was that good.
What, 6th round?
Yeah. Pick 199 in the 6th round. He was almost the last pick of the 6th round. Wow. Way back.
So do you think that Belichick was seeing that in Garoppolo and just wanted to reset and do it again?
It's possible. So, I mean, Jimmy plays exactly like Tom since he got Tom to mentor him for so long. It's like it's hard to judge him at this moment because he's like what a young Tom would be without Belichick for the tutelage. He's got a really good team around him, but they asked him to do a lot. I mean, he wasn't able to come up as big as Tom did when he got his moment. I mean, they essentially asked him to do exactly what Brady did against the Rams in his first Super Bowl, and he couldn't do it.
Right.
He missed the throws.
Missed the throws, yeah. He that was obvious. He was missing throws, and was that the youth, though? You think?
I mean, I think it was nerves because he didn't miss the throws until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Through 3 quarters, he played great. He started missing throws when the tension got real high. And it's like, okay,
somebody would turn the screw. They would turn the screw, and you could hear the damn wood popping, boy.
Yeah, I mean, they had the game won. If he had made a couple of those throws, then the game would have been over.
God damn, dude.
It's like that sometimes. What's up, Catchy? What's up, Pam O'Day? We see y'all out there in the building.
What's up, Pam O'Day?
Thank you for joining. Appreciate y'all.
What's up, Joker?
Oh yeah.
So did you hear that Brady had slighted the Patriots? He did some farewell thing to the whole city, and then he named everybody but Belichick.
Yeah, I heard about that, man.
That was
I saw the letter and all that, man.
So it's some animosity with them cats, bro.
I think Brady
he'll never say it.
Right. It'll never happen until he writes a book when it's all said and done.
When you know exactly that he'll never say it, because I listened to the Howard Stern interview. Like, I heard the second half and the first part of it, they were having a bunch of technical difficulties, but Howard actually directly asked him, like, oh, so now are you like, screw them? Like, I'm going to show you that you messed up. He's like, no, it's never that. And then Howard went back on. He's like, no. I know there's got to be something. Like, he went in and started just digging, and Brady just laughed and was like, thank you for that.
Well, you know what? And
he wouldn't say I agree. He wouldn't actually join in, but he's like, yeah, what Howard said.
But I think he loves playing the media the way he does for attention, ultimately, because he's been doing it for so long.
So you think he likes the attention?
I think he likes the attention, and he say little things out there that he know will start some shit. You know what I'm saying? So he could easily have said, well, I didn't address him specifically, but I did mention the organization in totality, the players and the Patriots organization. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But clearly we read it differently because he gave Kraft a shout out. You know what I'm saying? Personally, and you figure he would shout out Belichick, and he didn't. So, I mean,
yeah,
he can spin it however he want to spin it. But we believe there is animosity between those two. And it may have really poured salt on the wound with Garoppolo, that whole situation.
I mean, clearly there's some bad blood in there. Shout out to Angie in there, Atlanta United folks tuning in.
Hey.
But man, I know there's some bad blood in there just for the mere fact that after the which one was it? After the Philly Super Bowl.
Right.
The coaching staff was like, we could win Super Bowls with a lot of quarterbacks. They're like, oh, okay, you can win without me. And then he came back and won another Super Bowl. It's like, man, it's time to go.
Yeah, I remember.
Like, it's absolutely time to go.
That was crazy, bro.
Yeah,
so
man.
What do you think about?
I don't have any
Cam
issues with any of the running backs that they selected. I mean, I was looking to see if maybe Le'Veon Bell qualified. He didn't have enough years in that span. I mean, Frank Gore, Marshawn Lynch, LaShawn McCoy, Adrian Peterson. I'm good with those 4.
Okay. That's what's good.
You good with those? You good with those 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have any problem with it.
Okay.
For a wide receiver,
what you got?
AB, Larry Fitzgerald, Megatron, Julio. Good with those 4 also.
Okay.
Nobody in that 10-year window actually compared. I mean, if Odell's career started a little earlier, he'd probably be really fighting with somebody to get one of those spots. But
Odell,
he started towards the back end of it. Randy was done right at the beginning of it, so it was like, okay, like those 4 easily take that.
Yeah. I can see. And Megatron is in there.
Yeah,
he's in
Calvin Johnson, Julio,
Julio, Fitzgerald. Yeah, he's still playing. Yeah.
Where we got the real discrepancy is at tight end.
Okay, what we got?
We got Rob Gronkowski and Travis Kelce. So now, once we crunch these numbers together, you're
not going to agree with the Kelce one, right?
It's the Kelce?
For multiple years, Gronk and Kelce were the best 2 tight ends in the league. But Kelsey's career didn't really start at the beginning of this 10-year stretch we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got to look at Greg Olsen and Jason Witten.
Yeah.
Both of them had really good stretches. Now, if you want to know how good, I crunched the numbers for you because you know I do it. From 2010 to 2019, Travis Kelce, which this is his whole career, he had 507 receptions. Greg Olsen had 565. Jason Witten has 692. Like, he had almost 200 more receptions than Kelce and 130 more than Olsen.
Do you think
Kelce had
Go ahead,
Kelce
bro.
has 6,400 yards to Greg Olsen's 6,800 and Jason Witten's 7,000. Kelce had 37 touchdowns. Olsen had 44. Witten at 45.
45.
What
When
up,
you start
Eric?
to try
Any
to separate a little bit, Travis Kelce made 5 Pro Bowls and Greg Olsen only made 3. But Jason Witten also made 5. And Kelce was first team All-Pro 2 times. Greg Olsen's never made first team. Well, not in that span. He made it, but it was before that. And Jason Witten made it once. So, I mean, the only thing he has on Jason Witten in this span is 1 first team All-Pro selection. But Jason Witten has almost 200 more catches, 500 more yards, 8 more touchdowns, the same amount of Pro Bowls. Jason Witten should be right there with Gronk.
Do you think they probably put more weight on that Super Bowl he just won?
I mean, the Super Bowls don't count for players other than coaches and quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Nobody else gets credit for those.
Okay.
Greg Olsen went to the Super Bowl with Carolina.
You think it's just because of who you play for then, opposed to him going to Dallas? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I think that was like a trending award. I mean, I think Travis Kelce is a better tight end than Olsen and Witten, and he'll definitely go down as better than them. But in that particular time span, Witten did more.
Yeah, in that time span, I would say Witten
it's supposed to be from 2010 to 2019. Like, we're looking at this, taking out little space.
Like
Maybe
you just said.
I'll give you Gronk in that same time span just to see what the barometer is. Why I'll be like, okay, you can't take Gronk out. You remember the numbers I gave you for the other 3.
Right.
He had 521 receptions, so he still had 170 less catches than Jason Witten, but he had 7,800 yards.
Yeah.
So he had 800 more yards than Witten did, 79 touchdowns. Now, he's damn near, I mean, he's doubled Kelce's and has 34 more than Witten, who was ahead of both of them. He also made 5 Pro Bowls, and he was first team All-Pro 4 times. So, I mean, he's far and away above them for that decade.
Well,
his whole career fell in that span.
The only thing that we can say definitively about Kelce, the way he may have made the list over those guys, the only thing we can come up with seemingly is the Super Bowl.
I think they're
That's
just
why
looking
I
at it
asked.
as Kelsey's a better tight end than they are pound for pound. But
Okay.
when you actually look at what they were able to accomplish over the time span, it's not Olsen or Witten's fault that they played more games in that 10-year span because they actually played the whole 10.
Yeah.
It's not their fault.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, that's why Russell Wilson's stats are a little short because he didn't come in until 2012.
What up, T-Dobbs? My
But
bro,
still,
Rod. What happening?
He
Appreciate
still
y'all
had
joining the show.
Crazy numbers, though, man. Crazy numbers, though. Productive-wise.
I
And
mean,
you know, every
Kelsey's
time they
production
come up
is-
with these lists and teams like they do, man, there is always a discrepancy. So it depends on who actually is making the list and picking these, who has their hands in picking these guys. But clearly there's bias somewhere because Stat Man just put down the numbers and it just doesn't make sense.
I mean, you can look at it from this perspective. Olsen played pretty much most of this time span with Cam. Witten played most of his with Romo. But Gronk and Kelce, they got to play with Brady and between Alex Smith and Pat Mahomes. Like, they had the better quarterbacks.
Better quarterbacks. That make a difference. Make a difference.
But the fact still remains that Jason Witten's numbers say that he actually should have made this. You know I don't like the Cowboys, but I just had to call it like it is. He should have made it.
Maybe that's why they slighted him. He played for Cowboys. Witten had he had a good career though. Witten definitely had a good career. He was one of the damn tight ends. He was tough. He was, he showed up. I can't take that from us for sure. Is he a first ballot Hall of Fame? He got to be out 5 years, so he came back last year. So
no, he came out of retirement. He's still playing.
So he got to wait now. Well, is he still playing? Yeah. He's still.
I don't think he retired again. He's still Dallas tight end.
Oh, okay. I thought he might just did 1 year. He gonna hang in there another year.
So here's one where you might have some pushback. The coaches were Bill Belichick and Pete Carroll. I don't have any issue with it, but if you do, then I know who you're going to bring up. Because there's only 2 coaches that are tenured enough to have been coaching for this entire time span. And that'd be Mike Tomlin and who? Damn, this shit just left me.
Mike Tomlin.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Payton.
There's one
Sean Payton.
Yeah, Sean Payton. I was like, man, Mike Tomlin and Sean Payton are the other 2 coaches who actually coached for that entire 10-year span.
Correct.
What up, Budok?
But Bill Belichick and Pete Carroll, they actually won Super Bowls in this span. I mean, Belichick, we don't need to go through his because his resume is the exact same as Tom's is. So that's not really refutable. Pete Carroll took his team to two Super Bowls, won one, dominated the number 1 offense of all time when they destroyed Peyton Manning in Denver in the Super Bowl. I think that was Super Bowl 48.
Yeah, something like that.
They destroyed them. And Seattle has made the playoffs every year.
Consistency.
He took a 7-9 team to the playoffs because their division was trash.
Just trash, and they made the playoffs. Yeah. That's one of the reasons they started this damn new format, because of teams making it like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, the format still doesn't change that. If you win your division, it doesn't matter how bad your record is.
Yeah,
exactly.
That'll always be a thing.
You just got a trash division. Somebody got to win it.
Yeah.
Damn, it's crazy.
Yes, man. I don't have any issue with either one of them. The only person I would think like you would really have an argument for is Mike Tomlin. So I know he's gotten Coach of the Year. He did go to a Super Bowl, but they lost it to Aaron Rodgers. So I mean, his prior success doesn't count because it was before 2010.
Right.
But they have consistently made the playoffs. They have missed the last couple of seasons, which I think definitely hurt his case against Pete. I mean, between missing the playoffs those 2 years and not having a Super Bowl in that span, can't put him over Pete either.
Pete has definitely shown the consistency. He's always in the mix. And it's almost one of the things, I don't care how, it seems like the second half of each season, he tends to turns it up a notch and kind of change it up, and they tend to always get in the playoffs. It's hard to say the last time you seen the Seahawks not making the playoffs.
I mean, it's undeniable to say that Pete's not the reason that's happening, because he did the same thing while he was at USC.
He's a winning coach. Yeah, you got to get it to him. Yeah. On that. So college and NFL now, so.
Oh yeah, I mean, we definitely we got a whole segment to talk about that. So I got a whole bunch of info for you about that one.
Yeah,
he coached in New England for a couple of years, 2-3 years, didn't he?
Yeah. He was New England's coach before Bill Belichick.
Right, exactly. I think he was there for like 2-3 seasons, maybe.
He the one brought in Bledsoe, right? Did he bring in Bledsoe?
No, Parcells brought in Bledsoe.
Parcells, okay.
He came the year after they lost the Super Bowl.
Mike Bell, what's happening out there, senior? Cool. We see you.
My boy Taj in the house. Hey. AG in the building.
Appreciate everybody joining the Petty Sports Wednesday night edition in this COVID-19 era we living in. We hope everybody's staying safe out there and doing what you're supposed to do, taking the advice and the instructions from our officials that are trying to do their best, seemingly, to keep everybody safe. So make sure you do your part, everybody, because it's not just you that you're looking out for. It's all of us. We have to look out for one another. So thank you once again for joining the show tonight. We really appreciate it. Petty Sports brought to you by Kingz Broadcasting Studios. You can go and click www.kingsbroadcasting.com, and you can hear us on our internet radio station over there as well on the Post 880 station. So click that link. You can go to YouTube, Periscope, Twitter, Facebook, all of that right now, and hear us as well. And share the show. Okay, help this thing go viral. Sharing is caring, and it's not contagious. Just click that button, share it to the masses, and On with the show. Back to your regular scheduled program. ATL, Hope.
Let's go, Feez.
Oh yeah, man. Now we done got the NBA, the NFL out the way because there actually were current event topics going on. So now we get to the topic that I really wanted to jump on because this is just one of those that I just felt some kind of way and I wanted to just bring some light to it.
Uh-oh.
So this next topic, who would win in a matchup of legendary boxers between Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. I got to make sure we add Jr.
Yeah.
Against Sugar Ray Leonard. Though a lot of the old heads love Sugar Ray. He had all those brawls and all those crazy fights.
Yeah.
Everybody has issues with Floyd and the way he fights. Who are you taking in a matchup between Sugar Ray and Floyd?
What do you think, Mike?
I like both boxers. Now, Sugar Ray in his era, he was a boxer, in my opinion, that had the flair and the swag, you know, inside the ring and out. I don't know if Mayweather has that same type of appeal. You know, he's a boxer. He's a great boxer. He's one of the all-time greats. You know what I'm saying? He'll go down for that.
You think he don't have a flair?
I think his flair is like when you see him on social media, man, flexing with his money. That's about all I see from him outside the ring. In the ring, he handles his business, and he is who he is as a great boxer. But I don't necessarily see flair. He's in there. He's very focused, and he do what he do. You know what I'm saying? He ain't knocking people out. You know, it's the styles of boxing were kind of different. And I would pick, before I go any further, I would probably pick Mayweather to beat Sugar Ray. You know what I'm saying? It would be a good, close fight, in my opinion, but I think the style of boxing, as defensive as Mayweather is with his boxing technique, he'll probably edge Ray out in that respect. So, like I said, I like both boxers. I'm a big Sugar Ray fan, but I think in the ring, at both of their primes, perhaps, I think Mayweather might edge him out, man. Mayweather might edge him out. I'll give it to Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Not by much, but I think Mayweather might put something on Sugar. You know what I mean? Probably won't be a knockout. I wouldn't say that. You know, that's not what Floyd is known for. You know, he racked them points up. You know, he racked them up in droves. So, yeah, that's my take on that, man.
Okay. So you got to take on this one, G?
Well, I'm a fan of both of them, but I was very young, you know, watching Sugar Ray Leonard. I watched some old stuff, you know, just because I like watching boxing. But just watching Mayweather, I just think that, like Mike said, yeah, he's not that knockout guy. He's not that cat that's going to knock you out. But I just think he would pick Sugar Ray apart. I think he would fight him long enough to the point where, you know, he'll figure out what he need to do. And I think he would just pick him apart. I think it would, like you said, it would be, I don't think it would be as close as what I'm thinking, what Mike might be thinking. I think it'd be a little, he'll beat him, and I think he'll beat him convincingly, but it'll be a good fight. I think it'll be a good fight. I don't think there's nothing where he can just, you know, go in there and think Sugar Ray just not going to give him the business either. So he would definitely have to fight smart like he does. Mayweather fight smart, man. I don't think he really concerned about knocking nobody out. He gonna put them punches, and he gonna land the right punches to make sure that when they come down to a decision, they gonna know who it is and what he did. So that's how I feel about it. I love Sugar Ray, man. You know, but like I say, young as I was, I can only watch some of the stuff. You know, when I got a little bit older, started watching boxing and watch him. He was kind of tail in his career when I could really understand what was even going on with boxing. But when I watched the old stuff, I love watching Sugar Ray. He dominated in his career. But I think Mayweather, like, I watched him, and I just think he's one of them. He's one of them there. He study you, and he just you think, yeah, if you looking at for that knockout, yeah, you're gonna be disappointed. But if you just sit there and watch the methodics of how he handles himself in the ring, I think it'll just be one of the things. He'll just edge him out pretty good.
I like that, Petty, man. You said methodics. I gotta look that one up. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I'm like, man, I'm actually surprised at that. I figured both of y'all would have jumped in with Sugar Ray.
Nah, I mean, you know,
I've seen more of Mayweather than, you know what I'm saying? I've seen more of him than I've seen Sugar Ray, other than me going back watching it. So like I said, I just feel like I can see what Mayweather does. He picks people apart, man. You know, he's not a knockout boxer.
He take that scalpel to you now, man, like a
he
surgeon.
He cut you up, bro.
He go in there like a surgeon, man.
I'm gonna give you the tail of the tape, and then I'll tell you why I'm picking who I'm picking.
All right.
Now, Sugar Ray was 5'10" and a half. Floyd was 5'8". So Sugar Ray actually also had a 2-inch reach advantage on Floyd, but Ray was 36-3-1. We all know Floyd is 50-0. Ray had 25 knockouts to Floyd's 27. So I mean, people picking at Floyd's knockout power. Floyd stopped trying to knock people out about halfway through his career after he broke his hand, and he had very brittle hands. So he started just pointing people to death because he didn't want to break them.
Right.
Otherwise, he'd probably have at least 10 more knockouts than what he does. He kind of hold back on swinging that hard. He's like, man, it's going to tear my hands up.
Right.
So that kind of skews that. I mean, even from their big wins, you know, Sugar Ray beat Roberto Duran twice. He beat Hagler. He beat Hearns. And he beat Floyd Mayweather Sr. Floyd beat Manny Pacquiao, Canelo Alvarez, Gail Cotto, Sugar Shane, Oscar De La Hoya, Zab Judah, Ricky Hatton, and nobody ever touched him.
Yeah. That's right.
I mean, in the bad losses, Sugar Ray got knocked out by Hector Camacho.
I used to
People
like
say
Camacho.
He was old, but just
that's
to
one of my
keep it in perspective, he was 40. Floyd is still winning fights over 40 and still not getting touched.
Yeah.
But he also lost to Terry Norris, which they could have stopped the fight. He lost to Roberto Duran in the first fight by a unanimous decision where he just got bullied. And then he had a draw against Hearns.
Hagler,
so, I mean, when we look at the two of them together, what I really had to draw back to, I've seen the fight, but I went back and watched it again just so I could really just give you all the pointers to it. When Floyd Mayweather Sr. fought Sugar Ray Leonard, he uses the same, like he fights the same style as Floyd Mayweather Jr. He still had, like he fights with the Philly shell, like with his face hidden behind his shoulder. He comes with the jabs and the counter punches. Floyd Mayweather Sr. had like god-awful, terrible conditioning, and he just was not the athlete that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is. He's not as quick as him, and he had nowhere near the stamina. But as they came out in that fight, the first couple of rounds, Sugar Ray couldn't hit him. He was getting bullied. He getting controlled all over the ring. When Floyd Sr. get tired and then just ball up, and he actually was trying to pull a rope-a-dope and just let Sugar Ray just wail on him for a little while. Yeah. And he couldn't handle that.
That was a wild fight. It was out of control to me. It wasn't one of the best fights.
It's like the first 2 minutes of every round, Mayweather Sr. was winning. And then he'd get tired and fold up and be like, okay, I'm just going to just play defense. And then Sugar Ray would just let his hands fly and just kill him.
Yeah.
So if you take that all into consideration in a matchup between these two, Floyd Mayweather Jr. uses the exact same tactics as Floyd Mayweather Sr. He's in phenomenal shape. I mean, you've seen Floyd fight many fights. In the 12th round, he's still bouncing around the ring the same way he was when the bell rang for round 1. He's not going to get tired. We clearly know that's not happening.
Right.
He's quicker with the same style. I mean, Sugar Ray couldn't do anything with Floyd Sr. until he got tired. Floyd Jr. would have never gotten tired. I think it would have been a unanimous, lopsided decision in another fight that would have looked like one of these boring fights where like people who aren't boxing fans think it's boring. You're like, oh, well, he's not really hitting them and he's running. It's like, no, he's dodging all of your punches because Sugar Ray really didn't play any defense. He's just out there ready to brawl with you because he's a puncher. He wasn't dodging anything. It's like, man, Floyd to dodge all your punches and he's popping. And if his hands weren't broke, so I mean, we're just going to assume in this fantasy matchup, his hands aren't brittle, so he can actually let him fly. He probably would have put Leonard down a few times. He may not have knocked him out, but I know he'd have caught him slipping and scored a knockdown or two.
Right.
Well, I think it would have been a very, very lopsided, unanimous decision.
Well, let me ask you this, Feez, and you too, Petty Man. What's up, Chris? We see you out there, bro. Thanks for joining the show. You brought up a good point that I neglected to say earlier about the conditioning. Where technology is now in this era of sports across the board, you know what I mean? What do you think, man? if they had the same type conditioning in this era, would that make a difference in how the fight may turn out? What up, Steve?
I think that
Cynthia?
would be a fair point all the way across sports, period. Like all of the earlier athletes in every sport probably would have been even better than they were if they had that type of knowledge on taking care of their bodies and conditions. I mean, Floyd doesn't drink, smoke, or anything. He talks a lot. He'd go to the strip clubs and all this or that, but he'd leave the club and go run 5 miles.
Yeah,
Like, he's cynical about it. He'd he'd hop out the limo and be like, all right, I'm going to meet y'all at the house. He's going to run to the house.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
his conditioning is next level. But what it really looked like after watching Floyd Mayweather Sr. fight and seeing Floyd Mayweather Jr. his whole career, it looked like Floyd Sr. corrected every mistake that he made in his career, whether it had been tactically or just as far as his conditioning technique, sticking with the fight plan or any of that.
Right.
And he instilled it in Floyd Jr. So it's like he made the perfect fighter because he was a really good boxer. He just lacked a few things. He didn't have power, and he was not the greatest athlete, but he was scrappy. But he took all that in a better athlete and instilled everything in him, and that's where you get this 50-0 monster that nobody can beat.
Can't deny that record, can you?
No, I mean 50-0 is 50-0, and I mean he's just completely annihilated all of the best fighters of his era. None of them can hit him.
Yeah.
I mean, Canelo is arguably pound for pound the best fighter in the world right now, and he just he made Canelo look like an amateur. I mean, Andre Berto had a video out where he was describing what it was like to fight Floyd. He's like, man, it's like nothing you ever seen before. He's like, man, like I thought like we were sparring or something. It's like, man, he's not really trying to knock you out, but he's got real strong and sharp punches, so you know he's there. But then when you swing, you miss, and as you miss, you see him looking at you and looking at your hand like he saw your punches, and you're like, oh, he gonna catch me slipping if I keep throwing like this.
They think they're in the Matrix.
Fights like he's in the Matrix, like it's all in slow motion.
They're in the damn Matrix, boy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like,
It literally looks like he's fighting like, and he's seeing everything in slow motion. Where he just like, bloop, bloop, here we go, bloop, bloop, bloop.
Yeah.
He punched and then duck, or he punched and then move in and smother your right arm so you can't swing it. It's like I've never seen anyone fight so tactical. It's like he makes sure you can't hit him.
Yeah, that's why I say just Sugar Ray fighting him in this decade. I think he would just pick them apart, man. It wouldn't have been the same thing because Sugar Ray would. I mean, how they fight. Period. Now, I think that style just would not last the whole series.
I think it would have been like a 9-3 unanimous decision. Like he'd have won almost all the rounds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wouldn't have been that close. It would have been a good fight, but it wouldn't have been close.
No. So, I mean, you saw what Roberto Duran was able to do to Sugar Ray the first time he fought him. He just came out and bullied him and just came with all kinds of punches.
Yeah.
And Sugar Ray doesn't have another gear. He fights the way he fights. So it was like he pressured him and he didn't really know how to get away from it.
Try to beat him with speed.
Yeah, it's like we've seen multiple people try that against Floyd. Like he just started to put the shoulder into you, duck into you, push your body back with his shoulder, pop you on counter punches, back you up, use his quickness to move around you. It's like it just doesn't work. Like Ricky Hatton tried that. You see, he ran forward. Floyd hit him and got out the way. He ran his face into the belt. Man, it was ugly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So Miguel Cotto tried it. He kind of stood toe-to-toe with him for a little bit, but it's like, man, he couldn't really hit him. He probably landed more punches than most people do, but Floyd decided to just sit in there and actually fight with him. But he was still dodging most of the punches and delivering the punishment.
Yeah. Can't hit nothing you can't see.
Yeah, it's like Floyd doesn't really have a particular style. He waits the first 2 rounds to see how you're planning on fighting him, and then he adjusts to it, and then you're done.
Yeah, because he plays good enough defense with his style of boxing to do that.
Defense is impeccable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you saw what he did against Shane Mosley.
Oh, yeah.
Sugar Shane was giving him some work in the first 2 rounds. He caught him with that one hard shot. Floyd grabbed his arm, got himself back together, and Shane never touched him the rest of the fight.
That's all you got?
He's like, okay, like that was a good 2 rounds you fought there. Like, much props to you. Now these last 10 rounds,
I'm about to give you this work.
Oh my God,
I'm about to give you this work.
Yeah, like he never could hit him again. And Shane had to come out and admit, he was like, man, the folks that say that Floyd ain't got no power, like, nah, that's not the truth.
Yeah.
When he caught him with that blow, he kind of pissed him off. He was like, all right, like if I got to break the hand, I'm gonna break it. I'm about to hit you. That seemed like what he felt like.
Yeah. To put you back in your lane. You've changed lanes without asking.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna go ahead and show you.
Yep. So who you
Like,
think
nobody's
gonna be,
ever dominated Sugar Shane like that?
Who you think gonna be Junior's next competition or next fight?
I mean, I don't see him coming back into the ring.
You think that's it?
So him talking
like,
smack about it, going to the UFC, doing that's all hot air.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. It is ridiculous. I agree totally.
I don't want him to tarnish his career dealing with that, man.
He'll really get.
No,
he'll get
like you
fucked up
50-0, 27 knockouts. Go ahead and walk out on the sunset. You call yourself the best ever.
But you know he a fool for that money, Feez. He a fool for that money, man.
Yeah, man. But you know that'll be one of those images. I'm like, man, I already watched Mike Tyson get knocked out, and that really just did something to my psyche. I didn't like it.
That tell you hard up and throw it down the gutter when you see that. Like, come on, bruh.
When I watched Antonio Tarver close his eyes and drop Roy Jones, that really touched my soul. I'm like,
watching Muhammad Ali get beat down like that, like, dude, y'all just don't know when to stop. Just stop, man.
Like, man, like you don't want to see the dude lose. I mean, Mike did have actually a strong jaw. The fights that he lost, he was just getting beat up.
Yeah.
Like, we never realized Roy had a glass jaw until he slowed down a little bit. And he was like, oh, you can't dodge these punches like that anymore. You actually can't take one. You never could. We just didn't know it.
They could never get to it, yeah. When they finally got to it, though, like, woo. Saw a little tweet.
Yeah, like Floyd's been rocked quite a few times, but he's never been dropped.
Right.
He's never even been knocked down.
Yeah.
I mean, 50 fights, 50-0, not even a knockdown?
Why go to UFC? You ain't got nothing to prove. It's nothing to prove.
Nah.
Don't go to old boy's octagon. Go to his. He come to your playground. You saw what happened when that boy came in there. You found out real quick. UFC is different than boxing. UFC is different.
Tabitha Wilson, what's that?
Ain't no grappling, bro. You gotta you gotta come with it, bro.
And Floyd knew he couldn't hurt him, so like he actually didn't even play defense in that fight. He just was like, all right, come on, like I'll take your shots.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it was a consensus. We picking. Everybody picked Floyd.
Yeah,
we gotta get a poll up in the Petty Sports group about that, because I'm sure there are a lot of people who are sitting out there right now pulling their hair out like, no, but he didn't fight the guys that Sugar Ray fought. Like, Floyd would have beat all of them. I mean, right? Some of the people that Sugar Ray fought were way out of Floyd's weight class because Sugar Ray didn't stay in middleweight or welterweight.
Yeah. Matter of fact, so when did that was the latter part of his year, he changed weights, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, that would be like kind of like Floyd fighting Triple G. He's a lot bigger than Floyd, but if he came down in weight or just a little bit to meet Floyd, like Triple G fights like a 1950s fighter. Yeah. He walks forward, he doesn't move his head. He would really have to catch Floyd slipping, and I don't think it would happen.
Yeah. True. Cool.
But that could be a big money fight. I mean, if he had beat Canelo, then Floyd possibly would have fought Triple G. But since Canelo beat him, it's like Floyd's like, well, man, I already beat Canelo. What's the point in me coming back to fight any of you?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. There's no reason reaching back. That's for sure.
No, he's like, I already just handled you. Like, I don't need to fight you again.
What say you out there in Petty Sports Nation? Give us your opinion. We didn't see anybody in the chat room giving any opinions about that, man. So get at us. Call in 678-871-9602. See a lot of people checking in, but
it's quiet.
They don't really have nothing to say about Floyd and Ray. A lot of people that's another generational thing once again. A lot of people may not remember Ray or had an opportunity to witness him boxing the way we did. You know what I mean? So that could have something to do with it as well. But we thank everybody for joining. This is the Petty Sports COVID-19 edition, Wednesday, not August, but April 8th, 2020. Brought to you by Kingz Broadcasting, Studios. Thank you for tuning in and joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. What's up, Ashley? We see you out there. Yo, Mike Bell
Ashley?
Sr., I see you, man.
What's up,
Way to
Ashley?
hate. Man, we thank everybody for joining. Really appreciate it. Could have been anywhere else doing something different, but you right here with us. You know what I mean? Share the show, click it, call your neighbors, friends, and coworkers. Let them know we own and we doing what we do every week. We already did the Kobe tribute. In case you missed out on that, you know what I'm saying. But we going in. We got some hot topics still on deck to get through. As you can see, we 1 quart low, but holding it in the road because Bank's not here yet. Hopefully he'll make it soon. You know what I mean. But yeah, we appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, man, just pushing right on along. Should the NFL push back the start to their season to accommodate the other major sports leagues?
Good question.
What do you
Fee.
think they should do about that?
Who would they be bumping into? Would it be baseball?
Probably.
It's not that they'd be bumping into anybody, but baseball hasn't gotten to start their season. The NBA
Had to
still
stop
is
it.
mulling
They want
over
to
whether or not
finish.
they're going to finish the year or do the playoffs. And MLS is still going, and there's the NHL also. Like, do you think they should push back the start of their season to let the other ones get a little bit of time in to shine? Or you think they should just keep pushing?
I think they should keep pushing. It
It's
don't
not-
make sense because ultimately we already know. We talk about this a lot on the show. It comes down to the dollars and cents. And if they don't have an incentive to where it affects their bottom line in a positive way, why even bother?
Yeah.
Why even bother? Why would I push my season back and risk losing revenues when I don't have to? You know what I mean? It's unfortunate that things happen the way they did with the COVID-19 and so forth, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. You know what I'm saying? There's some hard decisions that have to be made. You know, like we said, we don't know if the NBA will finish their season. And if they do decide to finish it, it'll probably be with empty arenas. You know, you'll watch it on TV and so forth like that. And, you know, I don't know how they'll handle the baseball thing, you know. And who knows, man? They may just completely wash that because that baseball season is long. They have to actually shorten the season with the amount of games they play and come up with a whole new structure for the shortened season and so forth. And
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll be willing to do that to where it'll be fair and even worth playing the season, but it'll be all interesting to see.
But Feez, didn't the NFL announce that they was going to start on time? I mean, they doing a draft in August. No, they doing a draft this month,
Couple
right?
of weeks, April
They're doing it in a
23rd
couple of
through the
weeks.
25th.
Yeah, so they seemingly thinking they're going to start on time.
Well, no. I mean, they didn't say that they were leaving mulling over doing it. I'm just asking, do you think they should do it just out of courtesy to the other leagues to let them
man.
actually finish their season?
This is gonna be epic. All the sports is gonna be going on. Them trying to share all this damn TV time and space. This is gonna be epic time for sports.
Yeah.
Can you believe that trying to funnel all this in and trying to get it all in before the end of the year, especially basketball?
The big winners would be the TV networks.
The big winners, this sponsors is gonna be nuts. Man.
That's who would win out ultimately over
TV
everybody.
TV networks and just all the sponsors and stuff and trying to get back in them stadiums and like I say, the basketball, dude. I mean, are they just gonna play to finish the regular season or just gonna start where they at and just go to playoffs? I mean, how are they gonna do that?
Well, even with football,
I mean,
sorry, Fees, but even with football, that's the most popular sport in this country. Why would I do that? We got all y'all beat. You know, we the top dog.
Yeah.
We don't have to, you know what I'm saying? It'll be nice if we were to consider that maybe perhaps, but the show must go on, as we say.
Yeah.
If I was a commissioner of Major League Baseball, NBA, the NHL, and the MLS, I would pool together as the 4 leagues and offer to pay the NFL to push their season back to October.
That's a lot of fucking. That's a lot of
Dude,
fucking
that's
money.
some loot, bro.
It wouldn't be worth it.
Nobody, well, just look at it from this perspective. Top 10 sports just for last year on TV ratings. Number 1 was the NFL, which we all know. Number 2 was actually MLB. 3 was the NBA, then it was NHL, then MLS. So, I mean, with those being like they're sitting where they are, there's a precedence for this with them playing at the same time. You remember in 2017, New Year's Day fell on a Sunday.
Huh.
What do you normally get on New Year's Day? You get college football bowl games. All the
bowls,
traditional
all bowl games.
What happened on New Year's Day 2017? There were 16 NFL games. They played the full slate of Week 17 and was like, man, have your bowl games on New Year's Eve. They made college move their whole bowl schedule to an earlier date.
What up, D Bizzle? We see you out there,
They made
baby.
them move their games. God.
And in that same calendar year in 2017, Christmas was on a Sunday. You know what normally is on Sunday? You get 5 NBA games
NBA,
for the
man.
entire
NBA.
day.
That's right. That's right.
What the NFL do? They smack 2 football games right in the middle of Sunday on top of the NBA schedule. Like, nope, it's Sunday. We playing.
Oh, okay. Oh,
And
man.
I absolutely watched the NFL games. It was Pittsburgh played. I think they played Houston, and then the Raiders played Philly. I watched both games.
Hey, we got our
Y'all
dude
got
on
like
deck.
if
You know what I'm saying?
Banks in the house.
He said, "Put
If
me
the
in,
NFL
coach."
is on, I'm watching.
Yeah, get his mic on. His mic not on yet.
So let me just keep it in perspective and seeing the way the NFL operates. You
Yeah.
know they won't push their season back
Right.
unless they're given some ridiculous incentive. But on the flip side of it, nobody wants to battle the NFL. So I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to try to have all the games for these other leagues on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday when the NFL isn't playing, or hopefully Thursday if the Thursday night matchup is a weak matchup.
Right.
Because if you play on Saturday, we watching college football. You play on Sunday, we watching the NFL. Sunday night, we watching the NFL. Thursday night sometimes has good college matchups.
Right. Y'all be
You can't
patient with me. I
compete
gotta
with
get
football.
DB squared away in here in the graphics, and y'all just be
Bang.
patient with me. Let me get set up.
Can you hear us, Banks?
His mic not on.
We can't hear you, Banks. Can you hear us?
I heard him tap it, talk.
That's me.
That was a petty man tapping.
Oh,
text him and tell him his mic.
yeah, man. But I
I gotta
really,
work with
really
y'all
think
graphics.
that the other sports leagues should actually like band together. I mean, I don't think the MLS would do it because the MLS has a completely different fan base, and if they put a game on at the same time as an NFL game, the people that are watching MLS generally aren't football fans anyway, so it doesn't matter who they go up against.
Right.
I mean, I've sat in the living room on multiple occasions and had 2 TVs going and had a soccer game on one and the NFL on the other one.
Right.
Banks,
like,
can
if
you
you
hear
got-
us?
I'm in.
All right, we got
There
you
you
now, bro.
there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. There you
Oh,
go.
okay.
There you go.
Yeah, what's happening, bro? Good to see you, man.
Hold on, let me turn.
Let me try to get DB in because
Uh,
I'm trying to get your screen in, DB. Hold on just a second.
Yeah,
We
go
got
ahead,
Dwight
Fee.
Banks in our house.
We can
Yeah.
hear you, bit dog. You
Yeah.
can talk.
You can go ahead and talk. We trying to work out the
I'm
graphics
good.
that's on the screen, man. But yeah, man, good to see
no
you.
word.
Oh yeah, man. The question at hand right now was should the NFL push back their season, push back the start date of their season to accommodate the other major sports leagues?
Check. Can you not hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, we
got
can hear you.
Yeah, but I hear fees. No, I hear fees going into. I can still hear fees live as well, and it was kind of crossing over to both of you. How y'all doing, man?
Man,
good, bro.
to see you, bro.
Good to
We
see
good.
you,
We
bro.
all the way into this thing.
Good to see you, bro.
We knee deep, man. Hey, that's
Yeah.
our dude. What it do, bro?
I'm still trying to get him situated on our screens and
So what you think about that, Banks? You know what I'm saying? What Fees just put out there with the NFL. Should they push their season back for the other sports to finish their season or even get started?
Should the NFL push their season back to allow the other season to either finish or either get started? So one, the NBA is 20 games outside of playoff season, 19 to 20 games outside of playoff. NFL would definitely affect that if they started. But baseball is the primary culprit behind this thing.
Ah.
Baseball already is viewed as non-fan friendly, doesn't let the players express themselves. They're already trying to figure out a way to make fans tune into baseball outside the live fan experience, right? You let football in areas where football is popular. Because I remember one year going to a Falcon football game in October. The Braves were playing, and everybody there doing the tomahawk chop because the Falcons were so damn sorry. So I'm not going to use that example. I'm just going to say for cities where
I'm not going to use that one.
Yeah, where football is running shit.
Yeah.
Baseball would definitely be affected by this. Like, you cannot allow football to be going. I mean, and it overlaps a little bit, right? We understand that. Like the end of October and all that, we're going into the playoffs and World Series part of baseball, where it's a smaller audience, excitement, this, that, and the third. You fuck around and push that back further to where now what would normally be played in August, September is now during the middle of football season, and you're still in the middle of baseball season. Baseball will suffer tremendously. Not only mention the scheduling conflicts, but there's still a lot of cities out there that utilize the same stadium, right? So now you gotta figure that piece out. So logistically, it becomes a nightmare. Football will definitely rule. And if you look at areas in the South where football is the major sport in the South, I mean, you got the Braves, and you look at just look around in the Southeast. You got the fucking Braves. Alabama doesn't have a pro team. Carolina don't have a pro team. Tennessee don't have a pro baseball team. Florida got I don't even know if you want to call the Marlins a fucking baseball team, but they got one, right? So even with that, in the
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay? Yeah, Tampa Bay Rays. Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, again, them motherfuckers ain't got shit either. So, again, in the Southeast, football reigns supreme. So, if you fuck around and let them get into their shit a little later or whatever the case may be, baseball in the Southeast will be in trouble. Not to mention college football. This shit'll be a problem around here for baseball. You gotta start that was baseball now.
That was my proposal. What I said is I think that the other major sports leagues need to pool together and offer the NFL a ridiculous lump sum of money to push their season back a month. There's got to be something in it for them, but they're like, man, nobody's going to watch anything over football.
Oh, yeah. Think about it like this. The Falcons, a week ahead of time, released their new uniform, trying to get buzz. Yeah. Everybody's fighting for buzz and TV time.
Yeah, they are. Big time.
You got ESPN doing fucking reruns of the 1995 World Series. What the fuck? Everybody's trying to get TV time right now. NFL not pushing their shit back. As a matter of fact, they're trying to figure out how they can get everybody into spring camp early. Like, this shit is about to be a problem.
Right.
And they know that if I start my shit on time, y'all might as well cancel y'all. If y'all can't start on time, y'all in trouble. Like, MLB does not want to compete, just wholeheartedly on a Saturday with, you already got college football on a Saturday starting out in August. Now you got to add in the fucking NFL, and you ain't even through your season. Like, playoff season hadn't even started.
Right.
Oh, shit, you be in trouble.
And then college football matchups?
Yeah, you're going to be in fucking trouble. That's the whole problem with this whole thing, man. You're going to be in trouble, and everybody understands that. NFL is the big dog in so many regions.
Exactly.
It's the world, outside of soccer or football, how you want to look at it, it's the world's most popular sport. And you don't want to compete with that.
And like you just said, and I mentioned it earlier, football is the number one sport in this country. And not only are you asking the NFL to do it, you would essentially be almost asking college to do it as well. You know, it's just too much money on the table to be lost for other teams to or other leagues to ask the NFL, if that was on the table, to do something like that. I don't think it'll be worth it for the NFL.
Nah, it definitely wouldn't be worth it. I mean, the NFL not trying to lose their market share. You know, it's a money game, and it's a grab for television space, right? And there's not already a whole lot of television space out there, so.
That's what we said earlier. Like, the TV networks would be the big winners in all this. And ultimately, the NFL is like, look, no need of all of us losing money. You know what I'm saying? I guess we could decide to break bread to where everybody could get paid, you know what I'm saying, and we push our shit back. But why? That's what I'm saying. But why do it? It doesn't make business sense. You know what I'm saying? If it affected their bottom line in a positive way, perhaps, and they could see it like that, yeah, I could see them doing that, but it makes no sense. You know what I mean?
You know, like my daddy told me a long time ago, what that man eat don't make you shit. Just that simple.
I already lined out to you what the NFL did when presented a similar situation in 2017. They just straight deboed everybody.
Yeah.
They had games on Christmas Day. They had games on New Year's Day. It was like college football, go away. I don't care about your bowls.
Right.
NBA, don't care about your Christmas Day games. We playing.
They just moved them. Even college,
right?
Popular as college is, NBA still pushes them.
But what they understand is
the big dick
you're
on
my
campus.
minor league. Yeah, you're my minor league system.
Right. You the big dick on campus. You can call shots like that. What's up, Janet?
Like, I don't care what schedule. Today is Sunday. This is NFL day.
They don't care what schedule it is. This is our TVs.
and when you do it that way, you understand that you have a huge disproportionate amount of market share when it comes to viewing audiences, when it comes to sports fans. You do what you got to do.
The best the NBA could hope for, if they restructure their season and decide to play, all the games will be Monday through Friday.
Yeah, but
Monday through Friday. If they decide to play and not bump heads with the NFL and trying to restructure these TV deals and so forth, you have to play your games Monday through Friday.
They have too many games to do it, but when they play on Sunday and nobody watching.
But that's what I'm saying. But you can get some people to watch during the week because that's typically when they come on. They play during the week anyway.
But here's the thing, though, right? So it's not only just about resuming play. Do you resume play with a truncated format? Do you resume play with, okay, we're going to let these teams in, these teams are not in? You're going to lose fans just off that piece alone, right? And then it's been so long. Think about how it's going to appear. These guys are not in shape. It's going to be like starting preseason all over again. We should be in playoff mode.
Right. It'll look sloppy.
Yeah, it's going to be sloppy. It's going to be all of that. So now you're losing fans. You're not necessarily losing the diehard guy, but then the rivalries kind of played down. And now everybody has now shifted focus to this baseball season.
But DB, you don't think the NBA is going to try to force this? You don't think they're going to try to force it and try to get in there, like, just to get that last part of the season in?
Man, I've heard rumors about a 3-on-3 league.
Damn.
Playing, pickup games with teams in like cities like
Feez
teams in New York or the teams in LA, doing it so they don't have to travel. I've looked at, I heard something about ESPN and the NBA doing a horse tournament. Man, listen, you start talking about doing a horse tournament with NBA players, with ESPN, everybody goddamn starving around here.
They reaching.
They starving.
They reaching.
Everybody's starving.
They reaching, man. That let you know.
To watch you play horse.
They're clamoring.
Fuck, man, I can do that shit in my backyard.
Oh, man.
Nobody's gonna do that. So I just don't think that the NBA has a leg to stand on at this point. And the further we go down this road with the sheltering in place for a lot of cities, it bodes well for the NFL because we ain't even started yet.
Right. That's right.
Minicamp is still 8 weeks away?
Yeah.
So think about that, man. And we're releasing these uniforms right now to try to drum up buzz.
So you think NBA is going to lose out more than the MLB?
You say what, G?
The NBA is going to lose out more than the MLB. Then, that what you're saying?
Well, the NBA done got what they gonna get. You know to bust your nut. Yeah. Or you bust early. Lakers didn't get in. Oh well, you say it would have been, it should have been, they didn't get in.
Okay, well,
how would you
I'm
say
gonna
the Lakers
piggyback
didn't
off
get
of
in?
that.
The Lakers in first place.
Keeping the topic was for a little bit later, but we're just gonna move it on up to here and piggyback off of it because this is more appropriate. If the NBA cancels this whole season, what team is the biggest loser in this whole situation?
I think it's the Lakers. And here's the reason why, right?
Lakers.
Yeah, the Lakers, on the verge of making the playoffs and this, that, and the third. You had the Kobe situation, emotional high. LeBron has, and AD doing their thing. And it's been, Feez, tell me, it's been how long of a drought since they made the playoffs now? 5-6 years?
No, since what, 2012?
Okay, so almost 8 years. So,
damn.
So listen, so now you got LeBron come in. They didn't make it last year. You come in, you got the tragedy this year. You got all that stuff happening. Bam, we're ready to go. From a box office, sell out every game, this, that, and the third, TV time, all that, the Lakers are the biggest loser by far. Even though they weren't the shoe-in to win the West, they weren't, but still from a big ticket item to be able to promote it from the NBA standpoint, LeBron, the Lakers, AD, back in the playoffs, Lakers, they the biggest loser.
So look at it like this. The Lakers absolutely are up there in the top 2 for the biggest losers in this. But I think Milwaukee is definitely very close to being in the running for the biggest loser. And I say that because next season, you're going to have a healthy Kevin Durant
and
Kyrie Irving.
Yes.
And they may no longer actually be the favorite over there and able to get over the hump. And like this was their chance to go to the finals.
But the thing about it, the city of Milwaukee been shitty for so long, they don't really give a fuck. Like, it don't matter. It's cold, it's dreary, and the unemployment rate's been so low in the goddamn country. They're just like, this is what Milwaukee's do. They think Milwaukee's best.
For the whole league, what really is going to kill this whole thing is the fact that next season, Steph Curry's healthy, Klay Thompson's healthy. Draymond gets to go back to being the glue guy and not having to carry anything. Okay. They're going to have a top 2 or 3 draft picks, so they're about to bring in some fresh young talent that doesn't get focused on at all. So now this guy is going to get free reign to just raise hell in the league playing with Steph and Klay.
And to grow. And I think it's going to be the Ball brother. And I think he's going to be Klay Thompson's replacement. I said it here first on Petty Sports. That's what they're going to get. They're going to allow him to come in and do what the fuck he's going to do. And in 2 years, when it's Klay's time to get that new contract, we're going to say, go do your thing.
Like this was the year's one league to not be concerned with what Golden State is doing. And then the season going to get canceled, and now they're going to be right back in everybody.
Got to worry about their ass again. So they're the biggest winner. Because they can say, we didn't lose the championship. Okay, guess what? It was nothing.
That's
Keep
right.
moving. It's an asterisk.
That's right.
But next year we reloaded, bitches, and we didn't lose nothing.
Exactly.
They're the biggest winners. So they got Milwaukee's best as the goddamn state's beer. Who gives a fuck? They're done. Hey man, Giannis was there. He had a great season. Everybody's rooting for him. But guess what? In true Milwaukee fashion, it's a fucking wrap. So who gives a fuck? They're done. Bye. Hell, Mike can say the Hawks were the biggest losers because we didn't get a chance to watch Trae Young come down the stretch and put up a string of 40-point games and kind of build his stock up and get one of these goddamn top 5 draft picks and say, shit, we on our way to do this thing again. We ain't gonna have that.
It's all good.
I don't know how you just put the Hawks in that.
Because Mike is a Hawks fan. That's all.
He messing with me. You know what I'm saying? But
up and coming.
Yeah,
I don't view it like this. Man.
I don't view it as Banks said. But you know what I mean.
Don't say that. Don't say their name no more.
I'm fucking with the Hawks, man.
They up and coming, bro. Come on, man.
They're not in this conversation. That's all I'm saying.
They're not because they weren't going to make the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to make a run, Mike, these last 20 games.
No, sir. No, sir.
No,
sir.
We don't want them. We don't want them to do that. They won too many damn games, if you ask me. Shit.
This may help them in the draft. Actually, they might wind up winning. They may win out.
Goddamn Hawks fans. Man, you threw me all the way off. We're getting away from the NBA. We got to talk about something all the way different.
Come on, damn Feez. Goddamn, dog.
What up, Larry Dorsey? We see you out there, bro.
I'm going to UFC on you.
Okay.
We're going to talk about my man Dana White because he had a hell of a proposal. Well, I think it's an awesome idea, but just a quote from Dana White, who is the president of the UFC.
Okay.
He says, I'm a day or two away from securing a private island. Say I won't be able to get international fighters, all of them, into the U.S. So I have a private island. I'm going to start flying them all into the private island and doing international fights from there. So I'm like, this dude is about to turn the UFC into Mortal Kombat, where they come to your city and find somebody, kidnap them, fly them to a private island,
and go for
like,
it.
Hey, you fight to the death.
That's a ball ass move, man. That's a ball ass move to even have that kind of idea and actually might be able to make it work. You know what I'm saying?
He's been thinking about it for a while. He's saying he's a day or two away from securing a private island.
Shit.
Clearly, he didn't think of this yesterday.
Right. You know, with the COVID-19 going on here, and we just discussed about the other leagues or the NFL, perhaps hypothetically, being asked to push their season back for the other sports to finish. Yo, shit, fuck it. I just buy my own island and we do our thing over here. separate from
Listen.
everybody.
It's not the island that he's worried about. What's the guy that has the Virgin Airlines guy?
The
Virgin Records guy. That guy, he has his own island.
Yeah.
Notorious for all this shit, right?
Oh, you talking about what's his name? Tommy?
David Blanton.
No.
I can't think of his name. He's kind
I
of
thought
crazy.
it was dude that Mariah Carey was with.
No, Mariah stayed a little bit on his island a little bit, but regardless of the fact, right?
Oh.
So now Dana understands two things, right? I got a captured audience. Everybody is fiending for something to happen. I market this thing as the elite of the elite. The Kumite. Jean-Claude Van Damme type shit. No holds barred.
Richard
Tiki
Branson.
torture.
Richard Branson. Sir Richard Branson.
Sir Richard Branson.
Okay.
Branson.
Tiki torches. Clay goddamn ring. The whole nine.
To my topo with the with the
Boom. All that
bald head and the ponytail.
all that shit, right? I know that
Glass
right
on his
now,
fist.
molasses and glass on the fist. We got it all, right? No holds barred. Let's go. We outside of international water. We don't have any kind of thing to go with it. The UFC is their own goddamn fighting sanctioning body anyway. Man, go at it. Put $1 million purse up. Winner take all. Go back to UFC 1 with Horace Gracie and all them cats around there. He was 115 pounds soaking wet, tapped out a motherfucker 225. This is what you do. Put a $10 million purse up, Dana White, and say, listen, winner take all, no holds
Winner
barred,
take all.
no fucking referee. Unlimited rounds, the whole nine, run.
People are gonna die if you do
It
that.
should have been $200 on pay-per-view and it'll sell out.
Is it people gonna die?
Hell yeah. But
If
who
there's no
cares?
referee and no rounds, like what, are they really fighting to the death? You can't do that.
$10 million winner take all. Sign the waivers. Put
Sign
this
a
shit
waiver. Oh, he wild. This say
You're
sign
not
a
gonna go that
waiver.
far.
Hey, Banks setting up gladiator shit.
Gladiator sports,
Hey,
bro. Hey,
Going back to the Roman era. He going back to the Roman era
Right.
where they gonna let lions out in the damn arena also where they have to battle the lions and shit.
Sign
Why they
waiver.
fight?
Listen, man, what y'all keep missing is this whole shit. See, the COVID-19 is just the introductory to the Mad Max shit, the Beyond the Thunderdome shit.
Oh,
all the
Road
other
Warriors, Road
shit,
Warriors.
the goddamn Road Warrior, the goddamn what's the Schwarzenegger shit about the cop and shit, RoboCop,
RoboCop.
and Judge Dredd and all that shit.
And
This the introductory to all that shit. So Dana
Total
White's gonna get
Recall
the
was
front side
Total
of that
Recall.
shit. Everybody's already desensitized to blood and gore, right? Shit's happening every day. So now you understand. I am going to promote it as what it is. An unsanctioned mixed martial art event, no referee.
Fight to the death.
10 minutes. No. Fight to tap out, whatever. One man enter, two men enter, one man will leave. That's the shit goddamn on Thunderdome. Two men enter,
So-
one man leave.
Do fans get to come? Do you need a passport to go to the island?
No.
Hey, that's like, hey, what movie is that,
All
Feez?
fire
That the Bruce
circle.
Lee with the black guy. What was that movie? Bruce Lee when he
Bolo.
fought.
Yo,
Bolo,
Enter the
yeah.
Dragon. Enter the Dragon. Your boy
Yeah,
Han had
exactly.
the shit down. Hey, Han had the shit already in 1973 with Enter the Dragon. You had Jim Kelly, you had Bolo, you had Bruce Lee. Hey man, you had
Bolo,
Mr.
that big motherfucker.
Hey man, hey boy, listen, you had old boy, the white guy, Mr. I can't think of
Yeah, the pretty boy.
Chuck Norris wasn't in Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, the pretty boy.
Yeah, it was Bruce. Jim Kelly was the black guy. When death comes knocking, I'm too busy looking good.
Right.
Hey man, yeah, that motherfucker had Mr. Roper. Then you had Bolo and Bruce Lee. That's the shit I'm talking about. And they were goddamn doing dope. They were doing prostitution and heroin all off the island. Some player shit. 1975, get your shit together, man. 78, I'm sorry, 78, Bruce Lee and the Dragon.
I like that, Banks.
Yeah, that's
Very
why
good.
I don't know.
That's bad. That's bad.
That's why I don't know.
Hey, listen, you can't beat it though. Cause Mr. Han had a whole island where he was goddamn had the natives, they was drunk, packing up and mixing heroin and smuggling shit back to the mainland. He had a harem full of prostitutes. They were goddamn his special guards. They could goddamn throw darts and apples that flew across the goddamn shit.
Oh shit.
Some amazing shit, boy. Listen, you go to the island, you fight to the death. He send bitches to your room every day. Enter the Dragon was far beyond his time. It was before his time. And
Bruce coming.
And Bruce Lee didn't want to fuck none of it.
Yeah.
All right, so man, we're gonna try to get this one in with these hot 10 minutes because I've been waiting to get on this topic for like 3 weeks. Every week, we just don't ever have time. Top 5 college football teams of all time. Who you got and why?
I'll let y'all have that, man.
I have a top. I got a top one. The 80 was 84, 85, Georgia Bulldog with Herschel Walker. That's my team.
They didn't even win the championship that year.
You're a fucking lie. They won the Sugar Bowl that year. What are you talking about?
They won in 81.
Was that's yeah.
Or 80. It was 1980.
No, with Herschel Walker.
Clemson won in 81.
Hold on, I'll tell you. But that team, well,
I mean, you ain't got to look it up. You already know. I know they won in 1980.
okay, well, then there you go, stat man. But then also, what's the Michael Irvin year in Miami that they did not win?
Oh, that I don't know. That's before my time.
Yeah, and that was a great team, and it had a lot of guys on it. So are you going by NFL guys that produce NFL guys?
No, nothing to do with NFL, just college.
Okay.
Yeah,
USC,
you got to figure Miami and Florida might make the cut.
Yeah, the Peter Ward,
and the Gators.
No, well, the Peter Ward, Charlie
Gators
Ward,
ain't making my top 5.
Florida State.
So yeah, that Florida State with Peter Ward, Charlie Ward.
They didn't play together.
Who didn't play together?
Charlie Ward came out in '93. Peter Warwick played with Chad Winkie. Or Chris Winkie, I think that was his name. It was something
Peter Ward played with. I'm sorry, you're right. It was Charlie Ward and
he played with Winkie and Lavernius Coles.
Goddamn, the little running back that was at Georgia.
Warwick Dunn.
Buying on the house. Ward Dunn. I'm
Ward
sorry.
Dunn.
Not a little motherfucker. Yeah. Peter Ward played wide out. So that team was another good team. You know, and that was. I think that was the first team that. What's your boy name? The coach that was there. Goddamn.
I can see him. I can't think of his name.
I can't think of
the short guy with the glasses. Yeah.
No glasses. Whitish gray hair.
Yeah, he wore glasses eventually, but yeah, I know.
No, because he had a son that coached at Clemson before your boy got there.
God damn it! And then the Florida Gators with Steve Spurrier, the Spurrier offense that particular offense. I can't think of that one either.
That was '96 with Danny Werfel.
So that team as well. But go ahead with yours.
Okay, at the one spot, I got to give it to 2019 LSU. This is what they were able to do. 15-0, 7 top 10 opponents. Then they beat the current and defending national championship by 17 points. And Burrow won the Heisman. So I got to give the one season to them.
Bobby Bowden.
Okay, Bobby Bowden, yeah.
That's
Go
it.
ahead. Yeah, because the other one was Terry.
Mm-hmm. And so you got the 2019 LSU Tigers.
Yeah, this current LSU team, they get the one spot reluctantly. Okay. I don't want to give it to them, but I have to. Mm-hmm. 1995 Nebraska Cornhuskers get number 2 with Tommy Frazier. I think they had Lawrence Phillips then too. Them boys, they went 12-0, beat 4 top 10 opponents. They went back to back for that was their 3rd straight national championship game appearance, but that was the second of 2 championship wins. And they beat the Florida Gators, who went on to win the national championship game the next season, and they beat them 62-24. They were up 35-10 at halftime. They destroyed Spurrier's boys. So, I mean, that was like this ridiculously dominant squad. In the 3 spot, I got 2009 Alabama. That was the only undefeated national championship team that Nick Saban has in the Bama era. They were 14-0. Beat 6 top 25 opponents. They beat Texas, who was 13-0. They were up 24-6 at the half. I mean, they ended up beating them 37-21, but they dominated them with Colt McCoy and them boys. Texas thought they were about to come out next to do something, and they just handled them. In the 4th spot, got the 2004 USC team. That was also a back-to-back national champion squad. They were 13-0, had 3 top 25 opponents.
Is that Matt Leinart?
Yeah, that was Matt.
Okay.
Matt Leinart won the Heisman. Reggie Bush was the runner-up to the Heisman. Mm-hmm. They beat Oklahoma, who was 12-0. That year also Auburn was undefeated, but they had 3 undefeated teams. So they didn't make the championship game. But That boy Jason White was the 03 Heisman winner who played against them. And Adrian Peterson was also on that team. They beat them 55-19. I mean, they annihilated Oklahoma with one of the greatest running backs to ever play the game. That game featured four Heisman Trophy finalists between Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, Jason White, and Adrian Peterson. And Leinart won the Heisman that year. So, I mean, that was an awesome season for them. Because they couldn't overtake the other 3 years because they didn't have the schedule that those other 3 teams had.
Okay.
In the 5 spot, they get the 2001 Miami Hurricanes. That was their second consecutive. Well, that was the first of 2 national championship games they played in. They got robbed against Ohio State the next year.
Yeah.
But they were 12-0, beat 5 top 25 teams. They beat an 11-1 Nebraska squad. They were up 34-0 at halftime. I mean, like they just took their foot off the gas. They ended up winning 37-14, but I mean, you were up 34-0 at the half. It was like, yo, we already popping champagne bottles. They could have beat them 60-0.
Jimmy Johnson.
I mean, that wasn't Jimmy Johnson.
That was
2001.
That was Jimmy Johnson at our time done through the.
My Irvin.
Gotten out of the Cowboys organization was at
These were the Dolphins. Huh?
I think he just left the Dolphins in 01.
Okay.
Was he with Miami yet then?
He may have been done because he
had Miami.
Jerry Jones' first year. Jerry Jones got the Cowboys in 97, 96, 97, somewhere in there. Late 90s. Because that was Jimmy Johnson's team.
Yeah, that's right.
They had their run. Right. So I got a question for you, Feez, and that's a hell of a damn rundown. I hadn't that Matt Leinart made me think about something, right?
Okay.
Maybe we could do a segment on Heisman quarterbacks that fizzled in the NFL.
Oh man.
I mean, there's a whole lot of those.
Let's do a top 5 Heisman quarterback that fizzled.
All right, y'all got 8 minutes.
Oh yeah, I mean, we definitely can hit that. I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks that were a beneficiary of having top tier NFL level talent around them that made them look good.
Yes. I totally agree with you on that. And that right there, and does that Heisman trophy, correlate to NFL success? And we'll see.
Absolutely not.
We'll see with Joe Burrows this, coming into this season as well, going into Cincinnati, how much that OC playing a pro-style offense did for his career this year at LSU. What that benefited Joe Burrows if he can carry that over into the pro level as well. So we'll see.
Yeah, man. The Heismans they have multiple things going against them. Between them having top tier talent around them to win the Heisman, but on top of it, they usually go to a team that sucks, that has no talent and has bad coaching. So they have an even bigger obstacle when they get to the league.
That's it.
So going back to the whole Joe Burrows skip over Cincinnati shit, yada yada yada.
I think he absolutely should do that. He's not going to be successful at Cincinnati. He really needs to go ahead and try to just push his weight and try to get into Carolina and stick with Joe Brady. He needs to get somewhere with something familiar or a team that has some weapons or something.
So here's the thing about playing checkers and not chess, right? I had 1 year of major success. I don't have the name behind me of an Eli Manning to be able to pull off the coup and say, I'm not playing for Cincinnati. How about I say, hey, I'm going to Cincinnati, yada, yada, yada. This is what I want to do. But when they draft me, I now say you got to get rid of me because now I force both hands. I'm drafted. You got me off the board. You don't want to waste this pick. So now I'm forcing you to send me somewhere where I may want to go. But if I tell you right now, I'm not coming to Cincinnati, that may send some doubt in a lot of other people's head. And they may take a couple other guys that are so closely relatable to me as far as quarterback concerned. They may jump over me because I may be unsignable.
That takes some
I would
big
rather
cojones.
my draft status drop than me to go to the NFL and flop.
It takes some big cojones to do that.
It does, but it takes me the bigger cojones to say I'm not going to Cincinnati. You don't really have a name. You got 1 year body of work. And people say it was the OC and not you.
Not the OC.
He's got to ride the wave because it was the OC. I mean, you saw what he did the season before last.
I agree.
He still had the same running backs, wide receivers. Everything was the same except for the offensive coordinator. And he only threw for 2,800 yards. LSU's offense was piss poor. It clearly was Joe Brady that did that.
And that's why I say he played in the political game of, I'm going to Cincinnati if they draft me. I don't have a problem. I'm a Cincinnati kid. I'm an Ohio kid. I'll go, yada, yada, yada. But deep down inside, I'm going to say, once these motherfuckers take me off the board, me and my agent going in and bucking the goddamn system.
He need to try to get out to the Chargers or something.
Who, Cam?
Now, that'll be a good look.
Who, Cam?
No. Joe Burrow.
Oh, Burrow?
Whoa. So if he does that, the Chargers don't want Cam, is what you're saying?
The Chargers already said they don't want Cam.
But they said that prior to the draft. I think after this draft is done, I think they'll reconsider.
4 minutes. 4 minutes.
You see what?
I mean, it's possible.
You see what your boy Jameis said? He was like about Tom Brady taking his job.
Yeah, he said it's an honor to be replaced by Tom Brady.
Right. Could you have said anything more politically correct? What else could he have said?
Nothing.
Hey, I mean,
don't say
looking
nothing.
from his perspective, it's like, hey,
fuck Tom Brady.
If you're going to get replaced, at least it's the damn GOAT, right?
Mm-hmm.
like, they got rid of me because they knew that they were getting the greatest quarterback of all time. So
Right.
I looked at that.
Yeah.
For 2 seasons.
2 seasons.
Hey, man, listen.
I went and got my LASIK done and everything.
Hey, understand he a classic. I'm the new shit. That classic, you can't get the same miles on that classic you get on this new shit. Have at it. Appreciate the time I spent in Tampa Bay. Who want me with my new eyes? I got brand new eyes. I can see.
Hey, Coach Ayers, he know it's not for long for real in Tampa. And the coach last there 4 or 5 years in that place in the last 10 years. So you got to win
He
now.
made a power move.
Yeah, that's a power move.
Shit, no problem. You still ain't got no running game. The fuck?
They better than the Falcons.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Hey man, we got to get. Hey man, we got to bounce out, man.
Made the most major upgrade anyone could make.
We got.
43-year-old agent can't move quarterback. Fuck that. I'd have gave you motherfucker Danny Warfel. That motherfucker.
Hey man, let's get the goodbyes going, man. We gotta get out of here, man.
We'll make a bet. I'm gonna bet you a handle of Jameson that Tampa Bay
the network
has a better
gonna cut us
record
off
than the Falcons next season.
Stop.
How about that, DB?
I bet you that this Tampa Bay and the Falcons head to head, the Falcons will have beat Tampa Bay head to head, and if they lose the point differential, the Falcons will still have a better point differential on the win side. Let's do that.
We'll go on the aggregate score. Doesn't matter. I'm taking Tampa.
Street shit. Head to head, we're gonna beat y'all ass.
That's what it's called. You don't watch soccer.
I don't. Smart.
That's what you're proposing is the aggregate score.
SAT guy.
Man.
Look here. I'm out.
Let's
hey
go,
man, I
man.
appreciate y'all. Sorry I was late today, man. Thank y'all for joining Petty Sports Wednesday 8 to 10. Your boy DB, Feez, Mike Bizel, the Petty man. Let's go, man. Y'all see the new uniforms? That goddamn white on white is
raggedy FUBU jerseys.
Hey, coming from a motherfucker that don't know nothing but red and blue over there in the goddamn frozen tundra of Foxborough, that shit ugly. But we rock and roll. He want to be with this red and black. We out.
Quick fees.
Your boy FamousFeez. Y'all to find me Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, everywhere. Y'all know what it is. It's your boy, the Flagrant One, and I'm out, baby. Appreciate y'all for watching.
Yeah. Thank you for joining the Petty Sports Show Wednesday night, COVID-19 edition, April 8th. Thank you so much for joining. Yo, appreciate it. Everybody that started that watch party, gave us some hits up in the chat room. Nobody called the Petty Sports line, but maybe next week we get it in, but we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And check out the other shows on the platform as well. 808 on the Beats with D Bizzle and Q Smooth on Fridays at 8. No Name the Podcast on Sundays. Check us out. You know what I'm saying? Of course, stay tuned on Wednesday for Petty Sports. Brought to you by Kingz Broadcasting one more time. You know what I'm saying? And
we'll see y'all.
Stay clean. Right. Wash your hands. And look out for one another. You know what I'm saying?
Love y'all. Stay
healthy.
healthy.
Take it easy and live your best life. Live your best life. Live your best life, baby. Because I'm living mine.